Today I'll be making Nepalese Gurkha curry, and these are the ingredients that I'll be using. I've got belly pork from my local butcher, I've got ginger, garlic and lemon, 6 tomatoes, 2 large onions, pak choy, I've got spices, salt, coriander powder, chili powder, cumin, turmeric and garam masala, and I'll be finishing off with some coriander as garnish. With the belly pork, what I need to do is to take the rind off. So obviously make sure you've got a sharp knife. You want to remove this. That's fine. I'm going to chop the belly pork into pieces like this size. With this dish, it's all going to be about rendering the fat to start with. And what it does with that fat, it's like self-basting. So that's the size of the pork that I want. And with the rind, what I'm going to do, I'm going to chop them into this sort of size. And I'm going to fry these for, once I've taken all the rind off all the pork, I'll be frying these first in the pan. So I'm going to do that now with the rest of the pork. Right, with the pork, I've taken the rind off and I've cut the rind, as you can see. And these are the size of the pork that I'm looking at. Small medallions. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to put this into the... I've already got the pan on, so it's quite warm. And I'm looking to crisp this up and render as much fat as I can off here. And if you notice, this is a dry pan because there's a lot of fat on this skin. Right, as you can see, I've been cooking this now for just over 15 minutes and I've crisped it all up, and you can see all the fat that's come off there. You can see that. But what I'm looking to do now is I'm going to put this into the bowl. Put that back on the heat. I'm going to put a bit of the fat back in because I need to cook them. That's more than enough. And then this is going to go into the bowl. Put that to one side. I'm going to put some dry this off in a minute with some kitchen paper. Just pat it all dry. And this is the rest of the pork now, which we've already said. We've cut it into pieces. You can see what I'm looking at there. So we're going to put all this into the pan. And we're looking again to get a lot of colour on this. This is all going to be browned. And you can see that all I'm using, I've got the oil out of the rind. And that's all I need. And if I did need a drop more, obviously I can. I've got it to one side. You can see the belly pork now, and I've got a lovely colour on it. And as we always say, colour is flavour. And I'm looking to get some more fat out of it here because it is quite fatty. So with a spoon, I'll get a bit of that. And what I'm looking to do now, I've got my turmeric, there's all my spices, but I'm just putting the turmeric in. Because what we're doing is we're layering, so we're getting different flavours in it, and the first goes in as the turmeric. And I'm going to give us a great covering of turmeric, or a good covering I should say. And you can see that's browning up, looks great. The turmeric's gone in, and that's cooked through. And what I got now is my onions. And you can see the onion, what I've done, I've cut them long ways. And there's 2 large onions going in. We've got a lot of colour now in this curry, and it's coming together. And what you can see here, the onions, I still need to cook them down a bit further. But what I'm ready to do now is to add the salt. Give that a stir through. Yeah, I still want to cook these onions down a little bit further. And I'm going to start adding the rest of the spices now. So there's the garam masala's gone in. That's our ground coriander. That's our cumin. Now this is the chilli powder, and all I'm doing, I've got this amount, which is a tablespoon. But again, it's up to you if you want it hotter. But for me, that's fine in this curry. I do like things hot, but what I find with this, it's such a tasty dish, I don't want it overpowered with too much chilli. And you can smell that now, we're cooking all the spices now, we're cooking it through. And with the onions, it's picking up all the juices, as you can see, and taking all that flavour with it. I've still got a little bit of cooking with these onions, a little bit more. So now I'm ready to add, and I've crushed this, the garlic and the ginger, and mixed them together. So that's that paste, and that's gone in. Give it a coat in the garlic and ginger. And again, we're going to take that rawness off it. And if you're thinking why I put the garlic and ginger in that late in the dish, the reason being that there's a lot of cooking involved with this pork and to render all the fat out. And what we don't want to do is burn the garlic and ginger would burn and it would lose its flavour. So we're looking now, and it's going to cook through again. Cook that out, as we say. That's lovely. And again, I always say it, but the smell coming off this is absolutely fantastic. Really is. All the garlic and the ginger is cooked through. I can smell all the spices. It does smell rather nice, actually. I keep saying it. But time now to add the tomatoes. So there's 6 tomatoes that I've chopped, and they're going in. Give that a mix. Now we're going to put the lid on, and I'm going to leave that, turn it down slightly, just to medium, and I'm going to leave that cooking now with the lid on for 15 minutes. Now I said that I'm going to leave this for 15 minutes with the lid on, but actually what I've done, I've left it on for 25 minutes. I just thought that the belly pork just needed to cook through a little bit more and soften just a bit. You can see it now, and what I did take the lid off just to give it a stir, but you can look at that. Looks great, and it does. It's like that aroma coming off that. That was fantastic. And what I've done, I've chopped the pak choy, and as you see, it's all chopped. And I'm going to start putting that in. Same thing. We've got to cook this down. Get that mix through. And we'll put the lid back on, just to soften the pak choy and get it coated with everything, and then later on I'll be taking the lid back off. But what I'll be serving this, and a serving suggestion, I'll be doing this with and either I'll have a naan bread or a paratha, because it's quite a dry dish. It's the curry, it's a thick curry and dry, and that's all you need really. You don't need rice. I personally wouldn't have rice with it. I'm quite happy to, like I say, some good naan bread or a paratha, and I'll probably do a couple of them just to accompany this. I'm going to put the lid back on now for a further 10 minutes. I'm just taking the lid off now. Again, I know I say it, but wow, that smells great. And I'm putting some lemon juice. This is good. This is half a lemon. Give that a little stir. And a couple couple more minutes with the lid off now. And then I'll be ready to dish up. I've taken the curry off the heat and now we're ready to dish up. And like I said to you earlier, it's a dry curry, so we're just going to have some flatbread with this. The last one. Put a bit more on there. There's our flatbread. And I'll just be putting some of my favourite coriander. And there we have it. Brad's Nepalese Gurkha curry. Enjoy.